Was it a concerted effort to kind of get them more involved, or just to turn the rotation?
That's how it works. They were the ones that had the, that's what I talk about for us when we're going to put a bunch of guys out there on the field. We rotate a lot of players at receiver. It's one thing I don't worry. Billy handles it. He rotates those guys because a lot of it we want to keep guys fresh for four quarters, so guys in the fourth quarter are ready to go make plays. And we don't really spend lots of time maybe designing specific plays for specific guys. When they're in the game and we expect them to make plays, and I think it really allows us that ability to rotate those guys. And I think it just shows the confidence that the coaches have, that Dak has, and all of those guys out there on the field. That two guys that are listed as twos on the depth chart are your top two receivers in a game. So for us, but that's kind of us. We're going to play a ton of guys. A lot of different guys are going to touch the ball and really try to make it hard to lock in or key in on anybody in particular.
Is it more is it more difficult to prepare for an offense like Arkansas seems how they're not a spread team like most other teams in the SEC, or is it just another?
No, I don't know that it's more or less difficult. It's just different. LSU's kind of very similar. They're a big physical football team. We'll play. You play a wide variety of teams. From and everybody's kind of a lot of the spread teams. Some of them are even different than others. So it's just another style of offense, and they have to go get ready for. And we'll be a little bit different on defense probably than we were last week.
Talked about the turnovers kind of being mental toughness, but then you look at the penalties, and you're one of the best in the country, at least penalized. How do you kind of explain the two?
Well, I don't know. I'm pleased with the penalties. The turnovers to me frustrating, even though we only had one last game. So our goal obviously 0 turnovers in a game, and and to protect the football. The one that we had. I look at, I sometimes, statistically, I don't just look at the stats. I look at the what's behind the statistics. And I talked to our team. I think, we're plus turnover ratio on the season. I think we're creating turnovers. I'd obviously like to create more on the defensive side of the ball. But I don't know, the benefit in team football, we haven't really lost the turnover battle in I don't know if we've lost it in any game this year.
I think one time, LSU.
We lost the turnover battle?
-1. We
were -1? I know, because we've had some pushes. We've had a couple of pushes and then a couple of pluses. We've kind of gone that way, even though I'd love the number to be, I think we're +5 on the season. You'd love it to be plus double digits, But, it is something we talk about it and look at it. To me, if the turnovers are consistently the same thing, then there's a problem. They're all over the place, different guys, different situations happening. It's something you just keep talking about, keep stressing, and our guys I think know that. And so if there's not like a statistic thing that just, I don't know what the word of it is, but a bump where it's all in this certain area we're turning the football over, we just try to keep correcting it and moving forward.
I know Josh has sort of been labeled the bowling ball as sort of that nickname. Is there another inanimate object that you would better describe than that, or is that a perfect description to say?
When on the field or off the field? I'm sure there's a lot of different descriptions off the field you can give to him, but he, no, I think it is. The great thing about him is he's a good, like I said, he's a great guy to be around. He's a lot of fun. He's very, a great kid, always smiling, always got a lot of energy, always, upbeat in everything that he does, which you love, which I love. And, now the fact that he's mature with it as well. There's a big difference between being kind of funny and being a clown. And, and I think, and a lot of that difference is in guys that are funny know when it's time to be serious. Guys that are a clown have no idea, and they're just a clown. and he's funny, and he probably used to be a clown, and so that aspect of it makes it even more enjoyable to be around, and it makes you appreciate his personality even more, because you know that when it is time to be focused and locked in and do your job, he's going to get his job done. While still having that same great personality that lifts everybody else up around him.
You touched on it a little bit, but could you just expand about working Jamie Lewis back in after kind of missing a month?
Well, the great thing is I know he's hungry. Even pregame warm-up, watching him, Billy and I were talking to trainers, and they're saying, okay, he's moving okay, but he's desperate to get out there on the field. And so, I think that was that's the type of attitude you want in the guys. That they're desperate, but I know our guys, we're going to protect our players and not put them in harm's way in any way, shape, or form. So, I think it was great to get him back into the game. Obviously, we would have loved him to be able to play more in that game. But the fact that, I don't want to put him out there, not 100%, put him out there in any harm's way. And, I think it was great that he got some reps. I think that'll help his confidence moving forward, and certainly get to see him play at the level we expect him to play this Saturday.
I know he was probably bigger than Josh, but personality-wise, do you kind of compare Josh to maybe Anthony Dixon?
In a lot of there are similarities right there between the two, because Anthony, the same way, always had a little hop in his step, a bounce, always had a smile on his face. Anthony loves ball. Josh might be even a little bit more goofy, like all the time, than Anthony was. But running on the field, man, Anthony loved playing football, loved being out there on the field. It's hard to get him, you're up. It's always hard for me to compare players because you're around them so much. I love both of those guys. Both of them, in similarities. Anthony, I probably used to make come to my house more. On like a Saturday night, you'd have no choice. You got to be at my house on Saturday night, Anthony. Or Josh will just call and say, "What are you doing, Coach?" I said, "I'm watching TV with the kids." All right, I'm coming over. I'm like, "All right, come on over." There'll be a little kids touch football game in the backyard. He'll want to go be a part of it. So, that type of deal. But they're when you have those relationships with kids, it's hard to compare them because you see them. They're so different. Even though when you see parts of them that are similar, it's easy to compare them to, and you get to know them as family members. You see them so different.
Speaking of Anthony, I know he tweeted he's coming this weekend.
We'll see if he stops by and sees me. I grind on him still. I'm tough on the players. He showed up one day chunky. I didn't let him leave until he got a workout in, and I had to go do some cardio before he's allowed to leave.
He's been obviously San Francisco, now Buffalo. Everywhere he goes, even if he's not playing a lot, it seems like people love him. What is it that make people like him so much? Why are you drawn to him?
Well, I think it is because it's that personality that he has. When he walks into the room and he's always upbeat, he's always excited, and in the same way that he's funny, he comes in and he's got a spirit about him that you can feel when he walks in the room, and that energy and that's given off to people. He's not afraid to be who he is. None of it's fake. He's not putting on a show. That's just who he is. And it makes him fun to be around because he does have that energy, and he kind of makes you feel like you have a lot of energy and are refreshed, and you get a kick out of watching him, seeing him talk. You guys have fun. Give him a live microphone. That's always fun. Not these tape recorders right there with the cameras, live feed somewhere right there. That's the courage part right there with Anthony sometimes, But he's gonna have fun doing it, whatever he's doing.
That it. All right.